Welcome back to the second video of week 3 on the dynamic approach of the financing of a company. The objective is to understand how does the company has financed itself through time. In the previous video, we analyzed how to go from the net profit, the bottom line of the P&L statement, to the cash flow from operation, and we stressed the importance of this concept. It is crucial to distinguish the cash flow from the final profit. Indeed, a company, even if it generates good profit, could run out of cash. For example, if its clients takes a long time to pay, it could be dangerous in certain situations. So the question is, how my day-to-day operations are generating cash? Today, we are going to look at the bottom part of the cash flow statements, and to do so, we are going to use our well-known company, Gremlin, and we are going to look at the Gremlin cash flow statements. Let's first review the standard functioning of the cash flow statement of any company. You remember, we have seen that in a previous slide with the current operation, investment operation, and financing operation, the 3 stages. Let's now turn to Gremlin. In 1996, you see the net profit was 1,232, bottom line, plus 207 of depreciation. Turns out to be 1,439. Unfortunately, 12, not very much, was used in net working capital. So what is left is 1,427, which is what we call the cash flow from operations. Then you see that 397 were spent in capital expenditure, in investment, and 400 were paid in dividends, resulting in a cash outflow of 797. Therefore, we have a surplus of 1,427, the cash generated by operations, minus 797, which is 630. When Gremlin started the year 1996, it had a net financial debt equal to 0, financial debt, minus 465 of cash and cash equivalents. That is, minus 465. What does that mean? It means that Gremlin has a cash surplus of 465. Remember that net financial debt is equal to financial debt, short-term debt, long-term debt, financial debt, and leasing payments, leasing rent, minus the cash and cash equivalent. At the end of 1996, the net financial debt is therefore minus 465, the one at the beginning, plus minus 630, which is minus 1,095, or if you prefer, a cash surplus of 1,095, or 1,095,000, as all the figures are in thousands. Let's look at 97 now. 97, we have a net profit of 1,440, to which we add the depreciation of 593. And this is giving us an internally generated funds of 2,033, from which we deduct the increase in net working capital of 1,642. See, by the way, how net working capital has increased tremendously compared to 1986. And therefore, the cash flow from operations is 391. Now, if you look at the net capex we mean capital expenditure, investment minus the asset disposal, 1,515, plus the dividends, 440. As you see, Gremlin did a big share issue of 1,975. Therefore, minus 1,564 plus 1,975 give a surplus of 411. The cash position goes from 1,095 to 1,095 plus 411, 1,506. Or to say it differently, the net financial debt goes from minus 1,095 to minus 1,506. Finally, let's look at 1998. 1998, net profit is 1,897, to which we add the depreciation of 653. And this is giving us an internally generated fund, an ability to self-finance itself of 2,550. But look at that. Look at the huge increase in net working capital, 5,094. So when you do 2,550 of IGF minus 5,094, it turns out now that the cash flow operation is negative by 2,544. This is not a resource anymore. This is a need. Gremlin has to finance it. Gremlin has to find the money outside to finance its day-to-day operations. In addition to that, Gremlin had CapEx expenditure of 1,323, plus dividends of 496. There is a small share issue, probably some stock option exercise of 49. That's not very important. We therefore need to borrow 4,314 minus 1,506, which is 2,804. And probably a little bit more if we want to keep some petty cash in the company for the day-to-day expenses. So for the first time, the net financial debt is a positive figure. We need to borrow from the banks. We have eaten all our cash. As we have seen previously, Gremlin is growing very fast, and it has important financing needs for its new investment and for its net working capital. In 1997, it has been financed via equity, and in 1998, it has been financed by debt. As you can see, the cash circulation of a company is the blood circulation of our body. I'm not a medical doctor, but I know that if the blood is not circulating well in our body, we have a serious problem. The same for a company. Cash is for companies what blood is for our bodies. Cash is king, queen, prince. Cash is everything. So we have to follow carefully where the cash is going and where it is coming from. When doing our dynamic analysis of the financing of Gremlin, we have stressed the crucial importance of two essential measurements of the liquidity of a firm. The CFO, the cash flow from operations, and, as we call it, the free cash flow. And you see these two concepts on the slides. To conclude this second video of week 3, let's remember a few basic takeaways, a few basic lessons from the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement helps understanding the current operations, the investment activities, and the financing activities, and their impact on the cash situation of a company. It shows the sources and uses of funds of a company over time. And it helps answering questions such as, does the company generate enough cash to face its necessary investment? Does the company generate enough cash to face its financial commitment, its financial obligation, vis-a-vis the shareholders, dividends, vis-a-vis the debt holders, repayment of debt and interest? In the next video, we will look at 3 examples of companies, company A, B, and C, which represent 3 interesting prototypes of financing issues which you will discover through their cash flow statements. Make sure to take a close look to these cash flow statements of the 3 companies, A, B, C, before starting the next video. You will be able to download them in a module of the week 3. See you in a moment.